Rebecca Dawson, and I am here with you for a few moments in your day. It is post-Christmas, pre-New Year's Eve 2018, and I just wanted to share with you some really interesting information I received this morning that emerged from a conversation I had with my beautiful friend, artist and visionary, Deb DeLisi. She's in California, her home, and I'm here in Perth, and we try and connect when we can. And as friends, we were discussing what this year has been like for us and for many others. And as we were talking, we were receiving some fantastic information and guidance from the masters that started to pop into our conversation. So I just wanted to share a little sneak peek into 2019 for you. Of course, we have our themes for 2019 coming up on January the 20th here live in Perth, which I will be releasing onto YouTube so that anyone can access that information as well. So what we were talking about this morning was generally along the lines of spontaneous creation, and that 2019 is the year for demonstrating spontaneous creation. And it was quite interesting because the masters were speaking with us about how we tend to create for the future, and yet consciousness and source itself can only create for the present moment. And that next year is really going to be the year of spontaneous decisions, where it's very difficult to make decisions for what's coming up, but there is more impetus in making spontaneous, sometimes what appears to be radical decisions in the moment. So the question comes up there, how do we make instantaneous decisions when we need to plan in our lives? And one of the big ones about that is, well, if I want to make a grand decision about something, I need to make sure that finances are in place or that I can support myself to do that. And the response from the masters was that when you create from that moment of spontaneity, the creation of the event itself has already occurred. And then we watch it unfold in real time or in third dimensional linear time, including how it is that we can actually finance or fund ourselves to do such great things. So the creative impetus in 2019 is really going to be very strongly focused on instantaneous, spontaneous decisions and creation. One of the other great themes that came up for us today was this metaphor about the sleeping giants. And I know that Deb won't mind me sharing this with you, about how we find so much comfort in sleep, and sleep as symbolic of our everyday life when we're trying to manage and survive what we've already created, and how we find much comfort in going to sleep, but in many ways that management style or survival style of living is really like going to sleep, because we're really in that illusion of what is it that we need to maintain rather than what is it that we can create. So when the masters came through and started talking about how 2019 is the time for the giants to awaken and go and play, it was quite interesting because they were talking about how when giants wake up, they feel quite cumbersome. They feel very obvious. They feel like they stand out. They're afraid to go out and exercise what they can do and live in their greatness because they're afraid of squashing everybody else. So it really is time this year coming up for us to not be afraid of being in our greatness, not being afraid of being too big, but really having the courage to actually want to get up and want to focus more on what it is that we don't know, what it is that is spontaneous for us, not be afraid to make a whole lot of noise and possibly a whole lot of mess, because when giants get up and start playing around, sometimes things get destroyed, sometimes things get dismantled, there can be a shattering of sorts, but not to be afraid too much of the effect or impact that you're having, because those of us who are courageous enough to actually be in our greatness and not be afraid to make a bit of a mess along the way really lead the way for others out of slumber too. So that's just a little sneak peek into 2019 for you. I'm taking a little bit of time off in the next few weeks. Those of you who know me know I've lost some very close loved ones in quick succession in the last month. So I'm going to be spending some time with family and with my son, and I wish all of you a wonderful start to 2019. I'm really excited to see what is going to emerge in the new year. Big love to you all.